Well, hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Andrew Eborn Show with me, Andrew Eborn, where we dive into the stories behind the music that shaped generations. Well, today I'm thrilled to have the legendary Men Without Hats, the Canadian synth-pop icons behind global smashes like Safety Dance and Pop Goes the World. Fresh off their wildly successful 2024 tours and the release of their live album, they're back with a brand new single, which I love. It's called I Love the 80s, a nostalgic banger that lighting up the charts with their first UK tour in nearly a decade, kicking off on August the 21st, 2025, and a new album dropping in October. Ivan Doroschuk, hopefully I pronounced that right, and the band to hear to share untold stories, wild memories, and what's next for this iconic group. Ivan, a very warm welcome to the Andrew Eborn Show.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
That's right. And you're in Denver at the moment.
Denver, Colorado. Yep. Just
And
flew in
how's the
last
tour
night.
going? Are you surviving?
Oh, it's great. We're having a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Great crowds, and everybody's having a great time.
Oh, that's brilliant. And this is what you love. I mean, people, nostalgia ain't what it used to be, but I love the new single. I mean, it's so catchy in the same way
Thank
that
you.
the Safety Dance was catchy. But I want to take you back, Ivan, to 1977, Montreal, when Men Without Hats started as a punk rock outfit. What was the wildest moment from those early gigs that gave you a glimpse of the band's potential? And how did it shape your shift to today's new wave?
Well, I tell you, I was playing in punk rock clubs in Montreal and seeing my parents' head in the back, sticking their heads in the back door to see us. We had warned them not to come. We told them punk rock can get dangerous, but they braved it and came to see us. My mother was a music teacher, and I grew up taking piano lessons. So I, at one point, I decided I wanted to reach a larger audience, and I decided to switch over to pop music and go with the synthesizers, and it served me well. We've been having a good time.
Oh, fantastic. So your mum's a piano teacher. Do you remember the first music experience that you had?
Oh yeah, they used to. I had to practice piano for about an hour a day before I could go out and play
Only an
with my
hour.
friends. Yeah, and before I could go out and play with my friends. But my parents were always very, very supportive. At one point, they said, "We don't really care if you practice scales or the pieces that you're supposed to learn, as long as you spend an hour at the piano." And that's when I started composing. I started figuring out Beatles songs and writing my own songs, and that's what led me to forming a band later with my brothers, and we've been having a great time with it.
It must be interesting having a band. There's famous bands with their brothers, such as the Bee Gees and so on and so forth. How did you get on with your brothers during those periods?
Well, I was the oldest one, so I usually got my way, but sometimes they teamed up against me. But the interesting part now is I have my niece is in the band now.
Ah,
My brother
nepotism
Colin.
ain't what it used to be. We love it.
Yeah, yeah, and so she's the next generation and singing vocals and playing keyboards with us. So it's great to have it still in the family. It's still all in the family. So it's a fun time.
Oh, and certainly fun, and the video is so infectious. I mean, I get you work on that sort of basis, and but your early days were raw and rebellious. That's probably the best way of putting it. You played gritty Montreal clubs. Can you share an unheard story, perhaps, from those pre-Safety Dance days that shows the chaos or the camaraderie of forming Men Without Hats?
Oh, it was all kinds of stuff. But playing in New York City at the beginning, because Montreal is very close to New York City, so we used to go down and play New York City, and we actually threw a TV out of a hotel window once. It was we'd heard that was the thing to do when you're in a big rock band, so we actually did it. And, ended up spending the whole sum of money that we got from the gig on refunding the hotel for the TV and everything like that. But yeah, there was a lot of moments.
Oh,
It's
that's good. Did you get lots of publicity as a result? I mean, that's the key.
Well, we didn't get as much as we thought we would, but we almost got all our equipment stolen. I think the hotel manager tipped off his friends that there was a van full of gear sitting in front of his hotel that needed to be taken away. So we caught them just in time.
Oh,
They only got it. They only got away with a few guitars, but I think that
a
it
few
served it.
guitars. How many did you have?
We had quite a bunch, but they stole what they could run away with. I think It served us right though. We shouldn't have done that, but
But no, but it's rock
that's
and
rock and
roll.
roll. That's
You've got to
rock and
grab
roll.
those headlines. It's got to be good. So
Yeah,
I love the '80s. It's a love letter, isn't it, to the decade that made you
it
stars.
is. Yeah.
Ivan, you've mentioned narrowing down '80s references was tough. What's one '80s icon or moment you wish you made into the song but didn't, and why was it so special to you?
Well, I guess one of them was probably my love for Blondie.
Ah,
Blondie and Heart of Glass was that was probably the first song that really turned me on to the fact that there was a new musical movement about to explode, and that and the B-52s and the Human League was also a big influence. I was lucky enough that when I put the band back together about 15 years ago, put the band back on the road. The first tour that I got to do was to open up for the Human League and the B-52s all across North America. So that was really just a dream come true. The Human League is actually one of the bands that inspired me to form my own band and get in there. Phil Oakey is such a great guy that I wasn't disappointed. It was just a great experience and a great
yeah.
fun time.
And they're wonderfully supportive. I mean, these heritage artists, as they are affectionately known, and life on the road can be tough. But if you're with similar-minded people, it can be a lot of fun as well, can't it?
Oh, completely. Back in the days, it was I say it was almost like being on a football team or a hockey team. You travel around the country. There's a lot of competition between bands. You're competing for chart positions, for room in the press. You're competing for venues, competing for fans. But nowadays, the work's been done. We Nobody's out there to pay the rent. We're all out there to just to connect with our old fans and play the music that they grew up with and loved and want to hear. And it's a big, happy '80s family touring around. We've been touring around with all the bands. It's great. Like I mentioned, the Human League and the B-52s with Wang Chung and Flock of Seagulls. There's all kinds.
Oh no, it's the
Traveling
music
with.
of my childhood, and the great thing is we all grew up with the '80s,
Yeah,
and as you say, the people who were poor students or kids at the time, they've now got a bit of money so they can spend on these big shows.
exactly. And the good thing is though is that they grew up playing it for their kids too. So
Yeah,
now we're when we play live, we see our original fans, but they bring their kids and sometimes even their grandkids too. And we've been fortunate enough to have our music has embedded itself in popular culture due to shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy, and a show like Glee brought our music to a whole new generation of listeners too. So we're very fortunate for that. It's
and
great we've
it
been
is
able to
those
cross
glorious moments,
generations.
isn't it? Where I mean, we had similar things with running up that hill with Kate Bush and so on and so forth. If you get one of your songs in a hit TV series with Stranger Things, she had it on that sort of basis. All of a sudden, you've got a whole new audience, haven't you?
Oh, exactly. It's really amazing. I mean, song like "Pop Goes the World" has been adopted as a soccer chant in South America. So
Right.
it's you never know what's going to happen. It's great, but I grew up as a fan too, so I can appreciate that. There's a lot, for the it's like professional sports again. For the 500 guys that play in the professional league, there's 500 million that didn't make it.
Right.
So it's you're very fortunate that people are still listening to our music, that they actually listened to it the first time around, but that they're still listening to it now is a double blessing, and
Yeah,
we
absolutely. And the new single, I mean, it sounds modern, yet it's unmistakably Men Without Hats. Thanks, I guess, to the Grammy-winning producer Brian Howells. What was the most unexpected lesson you learned from him in the studio that changed how you approached I Love to the '80s? I love the '80s.
Well, it was knowing what how to cut down the song to 3 minutes and 30 seconds for radio. It could have been, like I say, it could have been like 3 hours long, but he also changed the music, the middle eight of the song. With the original middle eight, the part where we sort of bring back the "Pop Goes the World" melody, sing along part, that was his idea. I had originally put very famous '80s guitar solos in there. He changed it around and brought the "Pop Goes the World" melody back into there. So that was a great thing. But it was a great learning experience. That's one of the great things about this business is it's always changing, it's always evolving, and it's always a learning experience. There's always new things. It's never cut in stone. It's new technology, new ways to do things, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh no, and I
Keeps
think
us
the fun, but
keeps
putting
us
the
on our
fun into
toes.
dysfunctional is key. I think you work on that basis.
Yeah.
But the other thing, so talk to me. I mean, I'm sure this is a tale you've told many times, but safety dance, how did that come about? Because that changed your whole life and career, didn't it? Tell me the story behind safety dance.
Well, it was the dying days of disco. It was the end of the '70s, and in the clubs, the DJs would now and then they would slip in a Blondie's Heart of Glass or a B-52s and Rock Lobster, and the occasional new wave song would pop up in the playlist, and we'd get up on the dance floor and start pogo dancing. And pogo dancing was just basically jumping up and down and bouncing off each other's chest. It was the precursor to the slam dancing and to the mosh pit, but nobody had ever seen it back then. And so the bouncers thought we were fighting, trying to cause trouble, and we'd get kicked out. So after having been kicked out quite a few times, I went home and I did something about it. I wrote a song that we could dance if we wanted to, and it's been safe to dance ever since. So I'm quite happy about that.
And we talked about sync rights and putting it in movies and so on and so forth. I mean, safety dance has been used, I think, in things like McDonald's ads, Super Bowl campaigns, even UEFA Euro 2024 chants. What's the most jaw-dropping or bizarre place you've heard your music? And did you ever think, how on earth did we get here?
Well, I think it was when Weird Al Yankovic did a cover song of it. That was, but some people say that having Weird Al cover your songs is even a bigger award than getting a Grammy. So we'll take it. We were very honored when he did that. It was great.
Yeah, and he's a real character. Well, he appears in Naked Gun 2. I don't know if you've seen the new
I haven't
release
seen
with
it yet.
Liam
No.
Neeson. So he's in there. No spoiler alerts, but so it's great to see them coming up as well. You've also got your album coming out October the 15th. It promises
Yep.
fresh tracks and Brian House's magic touch. Can you tease one song or theme that's totally different from anything you've done before, and will it blow fans' minds?
Well, there's a couple of things. We have a song that's in French. We've done French before, but we have a new French song, and also we have a cover version of "Jealous Guy" by John Lennon
Oh, brilliant.
that we did a Men Without Hats sort of version of that, and I think people will enjoy that. It's a great tribute to a great legend, and who I actually share a birthday with. So he means it's a special meaning for
Oh,
me
that's when's your
to
birthday?
October 9th.
Ah, there we go. So one week before your big launch, that'll be good. How will you
Yeah.
celebrate? How do you celebrate? What's the way you would celebrate in style?
Oh, just I'll probably take it easy, but I'm going to be a grandfather soon, so I have to sort of
Ah,
get
brilliant.
ready for that. And my son is having a little baby girl, and right in November, end of November, December. So I'm going to get ready to learn how to fold diapers and stuff like that again. It's
Well, they always say it's
got to get.
easier being a grandparent than it is being a parent, but it will be your best production ever, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's the first time, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm up for the task, so it's great.
Oh, great. Oh, no, I'm sure they'll be delighted to have you babysitting. It should be wonderful.
Yeah.
So talk to me about then your 2024 live album. It's released February this year. It captures the electric energy of your recent tours. What's one moment from those shows that still gives you goosebumps, and why was it so unforgettable?
Well, that was the tour that we did with Thomas Dolby and Tom Bailey from the Thompson Twins, and that tour was great. At the end of the show, every show, Thomas Dolby would get all the artists to come on stage and perform a song with him. That was pretty electric. It was pretty memorable. I'm a big Thomas Dolby fan, a big Thompson Twins fan. So just being up there and sharing the stage with those guys was a great moment for me, and it was great for the fans too. Everybody really loved it. It's something I'd like to see happen again pretty
Oh
soon.
no, wonderful. Well, he's a real character. I used to when I was a baby barrister. I used to live above Thomas Dolby. It was great fun.
I'm sure it was. He's a great guy.
Yeah, that is quite a character. Now, back in the 80s, you played alongside some of the biggest names in music. What's a never before told story about a wild encounter with another 80s star that left you starstruck or laughing?
Well, starstruck probably when we opened up for Roxy Music on the Avalon tour. I'm a big Roxy Music fan, and my vocal stylings are sort of not copying Brian Ferry, but I used him as a great inspiration. So meeting him and having to reach up and shake his hand because the fellow's so big.
He's tall, isn't
But
he?
he is. He is tall. I was told he was tall, but wasn't expecting that tall. But
Yeah.
he's a big fellow, and he was really nice to us, and the whole crew were just beautiful. It was great. That was a great moment for us, a great honor again.
Yeah, no, no, it's great. Well, you're still phenomenally successful. You've got 31 million YouTube views and I think nearly 40 million Apple Music listeners. Your music is huge with a younger fan base on TikTok as well. What's the secret to staying relevant? And have you ever been tempted to jump on a viral TikTok dance trend yourself?
Well, I think the fact that we put out a message that I think people are still want to hear today, that you can dance if you want to. The whole message behind Safety Dance was that march to your own beat, do your own thing, don't follow the crowd if you don't feel it's the right thing to do. And I think in today's sort of era of social media and peer pressure to conform, I think people still need to hear that message. They still need to hear that they can dance if they want. They can leave their friends behind if their friends don't dance. And the same thing with Pop Goes the World. It was written at the beginning of the Green Movement. And the message there was if we don't start treating Mother Earth with a bit more respect, she's going to blow up. And I think that's still a concern that's still on people's minds today, too. So we were fortunate to be able to touch on larger themes that are still being addressed today. So I think that's one of the things that helped us cross the generation. Plus the fact that I still hear 80s references in pop music today. You still hear the 80s big drum sound and the synthesizers and robot voices in contemporary pop music today. So I think, it's a combination of a few things that's helped us cross the generation.
Yeah, and I know UK tour. You're in the States at the moment, but I think you're hitting Leeds, Edinburgh, Liverpool, Milton Keynes, and London in the next few weeks. What's one thing UK fans should bring? Should they neon socks, leg warmers, or pure 80s energy? What do you think?
Uh, all of the above. All of the above. It's going to be a fun time, and we can't wait. It's been a while since we've been to the UK, and we're looking forward to it. It's always a great time when we're there, and we don't get to play there as much as we do in North America, for example. So it's a great moment for us, and we're really looking forward to it.
Now, well, we're really looking forward to having you over here. Now, the 80s were wild, but what's the most outrageous thing Men Without Hats did back then that you've never shared publicly before the Andrew Eborn Show?
There's a couple of things, but one of the most memorable moments was receiving our first gold record in New York City at the Palladium Dance Club, and we received it from a very famous American football player, Mark Gastineau, who defied the league commissioner. The commissioner told him not to do any kind of celebration after he made a good play because he didn't want to cut into TV time. He made it run overtime on TV, and so he told him you can't be doing these little celebrations. And Mark Gastineau told him that I can dance if I want to. And every time he would do a great play in football, they would play safety dance in the stadium, and he would do a little dance. So he came on and presented us with a gold record and one of his jerseys too. So it was a great moment for us. We were really stoked, and he was a great guy. So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think fun is the key, isn't it? I mean, I mean, your 2020 Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame, that must have been a proud moment for you. I mean, it celebrated your incredible career. Looking back, what's one early songwriting mistake you think you made in the punk days that taught you how to craft hits like Safety Dance?
Well, I think that one of the mistakes that young songwriters make when they're starting off is they think that everything they write is going to be destined for greatness. They think that every song that they write is going to be a hit. So you have to sort of realize that that's not the case, and you have to realize that people aren't always going to be lining up there to throw money at you. And it is a craft. It is a craft, and you have to sort of work at it and work at it like any other craft, and get better at it. And that's one of the things that we had to do, and to give people what I think one of the things that songwriters forget is that it's the listener that puts you where you are, and so you have to sort of listen to the listener too. And if people want to hear a certain thing, it is your responsibility to give it to them. Sometimes, a lot of young artists don't like to play their past material. They're always looking to play the new stuff, and I was guilty of that too. You can't understand why people want to hear Safety Dance. I want you to hear this new one, Pop Goes the World. But you have to realize that it's all part of the same package, and that once again they're the reason that you're there. So and they're the reason that we're still here too. We're still lucky that people are not only listened to us the first time around, but they're still listening to us now today. So that's the reason that we can still go out there and perform and play for them. So
And it's a great attitude to have. I mean, it's a question I often put to several people on the show. They get fed up with their own hits, but it's remembering that the fans are that come to see you. They're the ones who want to hear them.
yeah, no, people ask me all the time, don't you get tired of seeing stage dance? And I go, not at all. I enjoy it more and more each time I play it. The smile that it puts on people's faces is just amazing. I mean, sometimes I feel that the song is bigger than it's obviously bigger than us, and it doesn't even belong to us anymore. It belongs to everybody else out there. I feel sometimes like a museum curator going around presenting this musical artifact that brings incredible joy to people, and that's what I do, and that's what I love to do, and that's what I enjoy, and I hope I'll enjoy it for quite a while to come.
Yeah.
But there's bands out there like the Rolling Stones who are still out there performing, and they set the bar high. They are great inspiration to us. That we know we can still go out there and do it. Is they're still out there doing it, and so it gives us the courage to do it too. So it's great.
Absolutely. And it's a purpose in life. I mean, the other thing that the artists often find it's the quiet periods after you come off stage after the elation of being in front of a brilliant crowd. How do you cope with that downtime?
Well, I live on Vancouver Island on the west coast of Canada, so it's quite a small, quiet little community, and I like to go back there and relax and just sit on the waterfront and just take it easy. I've heard that Mick Jagger does 60 minutes of stationary bicycle after each concert, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not there yet, but
And you
maybe.
talk about working with the family. I mean, you worked with your brothers in the early band days. You now got other members of the family. How do you find that, and how's life on the road as a result?
Oh, it's great. I actually have I have a niece in the band now. Sahara Sloan is my brother Colin's daughter, and she's playing with us, playing keyboards and singing with us, and it's great. And she brings her family on tour. It's always been a family affair in Men Without Hats too. So it's great, and it keeps us grounded. It keeps us, how to know that this is, the stage time is that's what it is, stage time. What really counts is family and the rest of your life and everything like that. So having her in the band is great. She's the next generation, and it's a lot of fun to work with her.
Yeah, and it's obviously equality, diversity, and inclusion at the moment. Has anybody suggested you should change the name of the band?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. People often remark that there's a woman in the band now, and there's also the drummer usually wears a cowboy hat too. So I know he got the memo, but he's a rebel, so you
Oh,
just
we
have to
love the
deal with
rebel.
it.
So how did the name come about?
The name came about because I grew up in Montreal with my brothers, and Canadian winters are extremely harsh, and especially on the East Coast, they're brutal. But we're real men, and real men don't wear hats in the winter. That was our slogan. So much to the dismay of my parents and my mother especially, we would go out with our heads uncovered, and that's where the name Men Without Hats came from.
Right. Now, technology has advanced tremendously. I talk around the world about artificial intelligence and the massive impact that's having across all sorts of industries, not least the music industry, and quite controversially about scraping the internet and depriving songwriters of proper sort of income and so on and so forth. Well, what's your views on AI?
Well, I think it's going to force live music to make a comeback, because the only way people are going to know if it's real or not are to go see the artist live. And I think it's a good thing, actually. It's going to force a lot of bands out there onto the road. It's going to, you know, it'll separate the men without hats from the boys without hats. It's gonna, it's, it's going to bring back live music. I have a feeling that AI is going to do just that. It's going to force people to get out there and play in front of people and connect with people and talk to people and sing to them, and really it's going to force a bigger connection with people. Actually, I think
Yeah,
that's what's going to
I
happen.
think you're right. I mean, people talk. As I say, I talk around the world about AI, and it's our greatest human achievement, but also potentially the biggest existential threat. And I think if you use it as a co-pilot, it does some great things. I mean, it tidied up that Beatles recording, which was the John Lennon recording, and they worked on that sort of basis. If it's used as a co-pilot, it makes a lot of sense. But people, artists like Grimes, who was Elon Musk's, had a couple of children with him. Basically, her view was that if you share the income, so she's happy for people to use AI to come up with new versions as long as she gets 50% of it. But the trouble is, Ivan, is that the amount of money, if you've got several artists involved, it's peanuts, isn't it?
It's always been that case in the music industry, though. Too, there's always been you know, unequal sharing of the profits. I mean, right from the beginning. I mean, the original rock and roll artists got nothing. And they said the same thing when drum machines came in. When they said when drum machines came in, oh, it's going to put drummers out of business.
Yeah.
When synthesizers came in, oh, it's going to put orchestras out of business. When it doesn't. It's just technology is cyclical too. The industry is cyclical. It goes around in circles. We're back now to where we were at the beginning when it was a singles market.
Yeah.
Now you can we just put out a single and we can put out another single and then at the end of the year we'll collect all those singles together and put out an album just like the Beatles did in the 60s. And that was their plan. It was and so it's always changing. The industry is always changing. It made it, computers said, oh, they're going to put, recording studios out of business, but it made the music more democratic. It put the music into people's hands where it should be. It allowed a lot more people to make records. Making a record was kind of a big, huge thing before. You needed a label and a huge budget and a huge studio and a producer and a guy to make the coffee and you needed a whole bunch of stuff. Now you need a computer and I use it too. A lot of my demo tracks end up on the final product because
Right.
the technology is so advanced that it ends up saving you money. It's great.
Yeah, it is. But the other thing technology does is we have these holograms. I have an interest in hologram companies as well, and they're obviously enables artists to make money in their sleep. They can have digital versions of themselves, but they could also perform with other artists, living or dead. That being the case, who would you perform with?
I'd perform probably with Roxy Music. Like I say, I'm a huge Roxy Music fan. I know they're still alive, but if I could get a hologram of Brian Perry alongside with me, I'd be stoked.
That would be brilliant. It sounds so. Looking back then at your career, if you were to give yourself or write a letter to yourself starting out in the career, learning what you now learn, what advice would you give to the younger self starting out in the industry?
Just be happy. Don't be so angry. Just be happy. It's a great, opportunity, and uh, to be able to do what you love, I think, is the most important thing. And that's what we were very fortunate to be able to do that. It's a job, but it's a job that we love, and that's important in life, is to be doing something, to be working at something that you enjoy. It must be grueling to be doing something that you don't enjoy. So I can't imagine that. So I would just say, just stay happy, be happy. Don't be so angry. I was a bit angry. I was a bit of a hard head back then. So,
What made you
but
angry?
I don't know. It was, there were, we were, it was, the 80s were fun times, but they were also heavy times. It was the Reagan Thatcher era. There was a lot of opposition to the status quo. There was a lot of, and the industry is a big machine too. So there was a lot of things. It wasn't always an easy, fun time. So I just, that was it. It was just be happy and lighten up and have fun with it. Have more fun with it.
Yeah. And your biggest regret?
Oh, I have no regrets. I,
There's a song
I'm
there
I'm I'm
somewhere.
happy. There must be. I just I'm happy with everything. I mean, I made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but mistakes are learning experiences.
What was your
It's
biggest mistake then?
I think my biggest mistake was like, as I said before, was not giving the fans what they wanted. Was like realizing that I should, be listening more to the fans and not just listening to my own what I wanted. I listened to what they wanted to, and a lot of artists make that mistake.
Yeah. Okay. And your proudest moment?
My proudest moment is still safety dance. I think that that is the the biggest moment of my career, and I think it probably always will be, and I'm proud of that. And I guess right up there is the birth of my son too. I have a son now who's going to make me a grandfather too. So
In November,
it's
yes.
that that
Glorious.
that yeah, that's also my
Yeah,
proudest
well, I
achievement.
think it's awesome that you're getting the whole family involved. You've got the next generation. So, looking back, Ivan, I mean, obviously, men without hats are going to continue for generations. How would you yourself like to be remembered?
For somebody who told you that you could dance if you want to, it's as simple as that. That's the message that I want people to remember me. I think that's what it's gonna say on my tombstone. You can dance if you want to. Teach people how to make that S with their arms, and I think that's what I was here for.
Yeah, brilliant. Ivan, it's been an absolute delight having you on the Andrew Eborn Show. I look forward to welcoming you to England. But for now, thank you so much for being my very special guest.
Thank you. It's great. Nice talking to you.